Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more.
You're listening to The Man That Can Project with Lockie Stewart, a global movement created to empower men and open up what's really going through their minds by having real and raw conversations about life's unique challenges and our individual ways of processing it all. Welcome to The Man That Can Project.
Alright, gents, welcome back to another episode of the Man That Can Project podcast. The last month, the episodes just keep booming. We had a massive rise in listeners and listens probably just at the start of COVID, and now again that same burst is happening. So it's awesome. Welcome to all the new listeners and everyone who's continuing to tune in every week and also share the episodes. I really, really appreciate that. You're all absolute champions. So today, or for those who are in the Man That Can Project Facebook group, you would have seen I was going to have George Shepherd on the podcast from the band Shepherd, and I did. And I got the video recording, but our audio messed up. So we're going to have to rebook that one. But we got a heap of content, but practice makes perfect. So the next one will be even better. I guarantee that, and I know that. So hopefully we'll have him back on this week. We'll get that one out next week. And just quickly, for those who aren't in the Man That Can Project Facebook group, you can obviously search on your Facebook for the Man That Can Project. Make sure you select group, and you can also like the page, but jump in the group, or you can just head over to the website and the links on the website, themanthatcanproject.com. So what we're leading up to, guys, obviously, in Queensland, we've had some more restrictions come back in regards to COVID-19, and I've also had a number of guys who were coming up for the Foundations workshop are from Melbourne. So, the way currently things are, that's probably not a possibility. So stay tuned. This week we'll be launching what the alternative and what the replacement will be for the Foundations workshop. And it's still going to be a 2-day event. It might just be being run virtually with a few extra bonuses for you guys. So, if you're still looking to take that next step and really start taking ownership for your life, this, what I will be dropping more information on this week will be an incredibly powerful experience to help you guys take your, understand your mental and emotional patterns and take yourself to that next level. But nonetheless, let's dive into what I actually wanted to talk about today or this afternoon. So, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you follow the content, you'll have seen I put a post up last Tuesday, so about 5 days ago, just talking about how I was struggling, and it's probably been the longest I have been struggling, and everything that I normally do to get myself back on track hasn't worked. Right, so it was a wild ride for me the last 2 weeks, and I'm going to sort of share a few things about that. And obviously, people have been giving me advice, take care of yourself, do this, that, and the other, and 100% I know that. And what I want to put a disclaimer out about is I did a post probably midway through July saying that August was going to be intense for me and it was going to push me to this point that I'm at. And I was aware of it, and I've experienced this before, just not this intense. So, I've learned a lesson, and I'll share a bit more about that in a moment. But I was also, I take full responsibility for what I put myself through and pushing myself to this point because, I was thinking about it before when I was writing a few notes. I was like, why the fuck did I actually do that? Like, looking back, I'm like, well, I can't really think about any logical reason as to why I would push myself to the point of feeling how I felt the last 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. But in the heat of the moment, obviously you guys know that when you're in the zone or things are happening, you just make decisions. And I guess you got to live with those consequences, and that's ultimately what I've put myself in. So now, like I mentioned, I was given advice to take time for myself. I'm aware of not pushing yourself to the point of burnout, but I also had a huge opportunity with a lot of public speaking coming up. I had a lot of one-on-one clients come on board, plus that was building towards the workshop, had the website being launched. So there was a whole heap of stuff happening, and on top of that, I wanted to maintain my training and my daily routines of everything that I do. So there was a lot of shit happening, and I'm pretty impressed that I got through it. But obviously, I didn't come out as well the last 2 weeks as well as I'd wanted to. And guys, let's talk about burnout. Let's touch on that, because for me, I've been there many times, and for me, it feels like my skull's really tight, my eyes are burning, my memory is terrible. Obviously as a result of that, I forget a lot of things, and I just am really irritable, and I don't want to be around people. So I was pretty aware that was going to happen. Right? Didn't obviously want it to happen, but I was aware. And during the last couple of months, I've done as much as I possibly could to, look after myself. I've made sure I've got 7+ hours sleep a night. I've been eating really well. I've been using the restoration zone, so doing my contrast therapy, breath work, meditation daily, doing all these things as a self-care practice. And I still hit that wall. So all of you lads out there who fucking work harder than me, and I know there's a lot that do, and don't do all the self-care practice, you guys are absolute Houdinis, and I take my hat off to you guys how you make that happen, because it's powerful. So please share your tips with me. But that feeling of burnout, that's what it felt like for me. And it was about 2 weeks ago where I was like, I feel it coming. It's happening, and now's the time to go. And I had, at that stage, leading up to the end of this week, I had about 3 weeks more worth of work I really wanted to get out of myself, like really at that level, just to get out what I call the other side of ticking all the boxes of getting through that chaos period that I'd created for myself. And week one, I was really pushing to make it happen, and I got through that week. I felt absolute rubbish. Every day was like Groundhog Day getting out of bed, and my training started to be impacted. Last week, fuck me, that was all time. I started my training session on Monday, and couldn't finish it. Probably got 15-20 minutes into the actual session after the warm-up, and then just pulled the pin on it. I was absolutely rattled. And then the next 3 days I didn't train. And every time obviously I love training, I love moving my body, doing all that sort of stuff. Every time I sort of felt like a bit of exertion, even if it was a small jog, to a client or something like that, I felt like this massive need to sleep. And, obviously that started on the Monday, and I started thinking from then, I was like, maybe I've pushed myself to the point of, chronic fatigue or adrenal fatigue or something like that. And it started playing on my mind, and I was like, fuck, I really hope that's not the case, because I've never experienced that, and I've heard a lot of not so good things about that, and I really don't want to be in that position. So I doubled down on all the things that I knew I should to look after myself, right? I meditated more, I slept more, so I cancelled some clients. I started eating healthier, like drinking green juices and all these sorts of things. Started visualizing even more. And, up until Friday, it just wasn't getting better. And I was like, fuck, like maybe I have done the doozy here, and I've really wrecked myself, because last week was probably one of the most unproductive weeks in my business since the Man That Can project started. So then the added stress of knowing that was not helpful, but I also knew that I was going to be no good to anyone if I didn't figure out what the hell was going on. So I'm pretty grateful that I managed to figure it out. But essentially, I wouldn't say figure it out. I just so happened to be lucky that I woke up on Friday feeling good again. And, I managed to spend a heap of time in the sun on Friday. And after that, I've just felt back to normal. A few things which I'll share with you guys, which really helped. I believe, and you can say it's luck, but I also believe that I did things that I know I should be doing, and I believe they fucking worked. Hence why I'm feeling better. That's what I believe. I cut back on the stresses. I meditated more. I visualized more. I did more breath work. I took more time for myself to relax. Okay, I ate healthier. I cut the alcohol back, and my body took care of itself. Right? I knew I was going to put myself through that, and I still got really this week to charge into with getting everything else done, which, bring it on, because I'm feeling hungry to get after it and to continue working towards my goals, which I'm excited about. But I'm also very mindful of probably don't want to, push it as hard as I have been. I can still get good results. I just need to learn to be more efficient with my time and not take on too much more stress. Right? Focus on the important things and the things that are going to add the most value to my life at this point in time. Okay, so I guess a few things that I learned from that whole experience the last couple of weeks is that, one, I'm not bulletproof. Obviously, you hear that all the time, but there's moments where you're like, I could probably get a little bit more than what people think, and I think you do, but then when you keep trying to do that day in, day out, it'll come bite you. It will come fucking bite you. What else did I learn from this experience? I think it put into place just how important structure is to me. And that's one thing that I forgot to mention. I had to, it would have been Thursday night. I needed more clarity and more structure in my day to understand what the fuck was going on, because I felt so overwhelmed, and because I was cancelling clients, and because I wasn't, doing my sales processes or my outbound calls, or my social media is a bit quiet, I felt lost. And when I feel lost and I don't have that, or I don't create that drive and direction for myself, I get very, very overwhelmed. And, obviously that feeling of being overwhelmed can lead to anxiety, or those feelings of anxiousness, which obviously aren't what I needed to be feeling at that point in time when I was already feeling low and pretty flat. So, I got back into the diary and I was like, okay, well, what am I going to map out for, what are we in now? August. So September, October, November, December. I was like, what do I want to achieve, and what's my business focus going to be? What's my lifestyle focus going to be? What's my training focus going to be? And then I just, revised my plan a little bit earlier than I wanted to. But as soon as I did that, it was like an instant weight was off my shoulder. I know exactly what I got to focus on tomorrow. I know exactly what I got to focus on Tuesday, this whole week, the week to come after that, what I'm building towards. And it's just helped put everything back into place. And now that, I've created that direction and purpose for myself, I now know how I need to show up, how I need to look after my body, what's important to me at this point in time and what's not. And it's something that sounds so simple, but, it got the better of it, because I think I was so busy with so many moving parts. I wouldn't say busy as in unproductively busy. I just had a lot of things that I wanted to get done by the end of this month. That was really important to me, and I think I probably bit off a little more than I could. So a few lessons there, boys. Simplify things. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Make sure you keep a plan and follow it, and just look after your own well-being in the process, because you're no good to anyone if you're no good to yourself, right? And there are a few of my takeaways. So hope that was valuable, guys. And like I said, if you have any questions for me, jump in the Facebook group if you're not in there. Otherwise, just post and ask questions, or send me a DM on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to have conversations with you guys. So obviously, this next week is going to be super, trying to tidy up these last bits. But then after that, we're all guns blazing again. Have a great week, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And, fingers crossed, I'm coming to you next week with George Shepherd, and we'll be having an incredible chat. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lockie Stewart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.